That don't mean much. But, all right, we're live, guys, but I need to make sure that I can see everybody's chat. So just bear with me, and then we will jump into everything because I have like four different things going: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. So I'm trying to make sure I get everybody. Twitch is going to get. All right. Facebook, I'm not probably not gonna be able to see you guys because it's acting up. Hold on.
Isn't that just like Facebook?
Huh?
Isn't that just like Facebook to not act right?
Right.
Come on, Blue Juice.
Okay. All right, we're all good. So, everyone, welcome to Boys and Brunch. This is the show where we explore and expose everything going down on the timeline. Today, we're talking about picking a side between friends, knowing when to argue and when to fall back, what celebrity redemption should look like, and who you should defend in a fight between your mom and your man. So I'm Jarrod D. King, and I am joined by co-hosts Brandon Harris Williams and Marcus Haynes. And I'm also joined by a special guest. He's an entrepreneur, a writer, a YouTuber, Mr. Charles Warren, everybody.
What's up,
going
guys?
on, We're gonna need that that virtual audience or something in the background.
Sound effect.
Have somebody roll out on a monitor screen.
Exactly.
But yeah, Jarrod, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah,
so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Charles?
Well, I'm a Libra. I'm single. I am from the South. Like you said, I am a writer. I used to be a professional dancer. Yeah. So.
All right. Cool. All good. All good. So you're very, very much creative. So you're in the right, room because everybody in here is a little bit creative. So what are you drinking today?
Oh, so today, do you guys have tropical smoothie in your cities? I don't know where y'all are. Do y'all have tropical smoothie?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I bought a pomegranate plunge from Tropical Smoothie, and I basically liquefied it and infused it with Ciroc apple. So I will be drinking this. It has like pomegranate, strawberries, apples.
Okay, sounds like a Charles Warren original.
It's good. So
okay,
yeah,
I mean, look, you might have to bottle that up and ship that out to people and start a little business after that.
That sounds
good, right?
So Marcus, what's going on? What are you drinking today?
I'm drinking a concoction, just something juicy and something blue.
Juicy.
That's interesting.
Juicy.
It matches your shirt.
Yes, I'm blued out today.
So what's new for you this week?
Well, my birthday was Thursday, so there's that.
Happy belated. Happy belated birthday.
So this has been fun weekend, had many enjoyable activities. So.
Okay, and I saw you had like a virtual birthday party or something, and you had multiple outfit changes.
Yes.
So could you tell us about that, please?
Okay.
What caused that?
Me being me, but no. I originally, because this was my 30th, I originally was trying to go big. I had so many different plans. I wanted to go on a cruise at first. Then I decided I was going to do like a multi-day, like party extravaganza type deal. But then COVID hit, and all of those things became impossible.
Right, and has not gone anywhere. So
listen, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna try to make the best of it. Try to do a little something, and so that I wouldn't just sit in front of the computer screen. I try, make it a little fun, have us do a couple of different things. And me being the type of person that I am, I wanted to show off the things that I had bought ahead of time for this, in preparation for the extravaganza that I expected. And I was like, well, COVID ain't gonna stop the outfit, so
there you go.
There
Okay.
it is.
Well, I'm glad you were able to celebrate it and make the best of it. Brandon, let's move on to
hmm
you. What's in the cup?
I think it's called Gloria's. I think the little margarita things. I think
Okay,
that's what
I
they're
haven't
Oh,
called.
heard of
like
that.
you talking about like daily?
What?
You talking about like the dailies? Like in a
No, not the
plastic thing?
dailies. No, not the plastic things. It's like a big. Let me see if that's what it's called. I could be lying. I think it's Gloria's. I might be naming it something else, but just a margarita. It's a
Okay,
big bottle.
that's cool.
Oh,
Nice
I know
and
what you're talking about.
Margaritas.
Like it's already made.
yeah.
Okay,
Just
I know
pour
what
it
you're
in
talking
there.
about.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Like
they had
that.
like pre-made margaritas anywhere because I don't know what I'm
hmm
doing mixing stuff up over here at my house.
No,
So,
no, no. You
No, they
definitely
have
should still
plenty.
mix it up.
oh, you do?
I
You have
mean,
to.
they're not bad, but
All right.
you can still make
This
them.
one is strong to me. I was like,
Mm.
woo,
Okay. All right. Well, what's new with you, Brandon? Give us an update.
nothing.
Nothing.
This was my first week back in the office. So that was something. It was
Okay.
it's not thankfully it's not that many of us in there, so
hmm
that's not too bad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it has to be a little bit shaky to kind of go back into the office, I guess. Right.
Yeah, they have us doing like daily screenings. They check our temperature every time we come into the building. It's like only one entrance now. So they're
Okay.
taking precautions, but we still should be at home. But whatever.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Well, I am drinking a sparkling rosé. I'm back to my normal drink, I guess.
I see.
And I guess what's new with me is that I have been to Atlantic City. The past couple of weeks, I've been, kind of back and forth between Atlantic City and here, just kind of getting away and clearing my head and not being in the house so much. So it's been very
Mhm.
helpful. Um, but anyway, I will say to the viewers, if at any point you hear something you like, please heart it up, give us a like. I will be watching the comments and doing my best to interact with you and shout you out, whether you are on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or Twitter/Periscope, wherever you are, I'm going to be watching the comments. So, please interact with us. And let's move into our first topic. So I'm going to pull up, I have my tweets ready this
Oh,
time.
wow.
Uh-oh,
Yes.
look at
Come
you.
on.
Now, it's funny because I did just get these together in like the last like 2 minutes before we did this. So it was very last
Mhm.
minute, but I did get it together.
That's what
So
matters.
let me pull this up and we're going to jump into our first topic, which is all about picking sides.
Lord.
Yep, yep. Oh, it's not even labeled. I hope I'm pulling up the right one. Hold on.
Got it.
All right. See, I had them up, but now it just says photo, photo, photo. So I don't know which one I'm picking up. So let me try this again. This is I might not
It'll be
even
a
be sharing
roulette.
stuff anymore if I'm for real, if I have to keep doing this, but okay, here we go. So the original tweet, which you see in the middle of the screen, was the friends that quote don't pick a side already picked a side and it's not yours. And then the response to that you see over top was, at some point y'all need to grow up. Nobody wants to be in all that mess, especially if it doesn't concern them. So that's our tweet. But let me pull back up what I had on the screen. My gosh, it's too much going on here. So I want to ask you guys, which side are you on? Is picking sides between friends childish? So why don't we start with our guest host, Charles? What do you think? What do you think about picking a side between friends?
I think it depends on what we're discussing. Um, and this, I want to stay out of it, gives me nice friend energy. When you're the nice friend, you care more about how people feel at the end of the day versus the truth. So that's why I don't fuck with nice friends. Excuse my French. But if at your core you base your morale on whatever makes most people happy, then you're like willing to lie, stay out of things. For example, if me and your homegirl, whatever, we're discussing the fact that our third friend is in a domestic violence situation, just be an example. And you're the type of girl that wants to let me stay out of it as long as she's happy, as long as, as long as Sarah's happy with her man. That's what nice friends say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that gives me. And I don't want any nice friends.
I hear that. What do you think, Brandon? I see you nodding there.
I think I agree for the most part. I do think that it really does depend on the situation. I think that it's almost like I feel like the original tweet and the response were almost two different conversations. Like, I think the original tweet is saying that you do need to, like, right and right is wrong kind of a thing. So even if you don't, quote unquote, pick a side, you should be able to still voice your opinion. Like, I can still be friends with you both, but this is where you did wrong, or this is where you did right, or whatever else. Whereas I think the second one is like the response is probably more of a thing of like, my two friends are already at odds, so I'm not going to get in the middle. But I think is you can like voice your opinion and still not be in the middle, because you can still be friends with both, even if one person is quote unquote wrong.
Mm-hmm. Marcus, anything to add to this so far?
Yeah, I I don't know. Like I'm sitting here thinking about the thing. I was like, am I the nice friend? Probably. But at the same time, though, like I feel like in certain situations, like you do have to take a stance, like make it known, like the whole domestic violence example that you brought up. Like, okay, that's beyond nice. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Like something needs to be said at that point. But if you have two people that have their own sort of like drama that's completely separate from you, and it's like, well, how do you feel? It's like that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like that's between y'all. Like if you put me in the middle of it, then somebody's not going to be happy with the results. But really, y'all need to hash it out amongst yourselves.
I just feel like, I feel like there always comes a point when you need to kind of pick. I mean, not always, but there are some moments where you have to pick a side between uh, your friend or not. I don't know. I just feel like loyalty to me is important. I used to think it wasn't. I used to think, you just stand up for whoever's right. And it's it's a very nuanced thing for me, because I feel like depending on what is happening or what's going down, um, you can pull your friend's coattails. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you pull your friend's coattails in the background away from everybody. But when you're confronted with this situation in the moment, you kind of have to stand up for the person that, stand up for your friend, or stand up for who's most right in the situation, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel differently or.
Yeah, and I think that like picking a side or voicing your opinion doesn't mean that you're involving yourself either. You're just like kind of like, okay, y'all have an issue, you were wrong, but y'all fix it. Like,
Right.
I don't have nothing to do with
Right.
that.
Right.
And then that's why, like, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
So have you guys ever been in a situation like that before, where you kind of
Thousand
had to
times.
choose?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was that like?
Well, no, I think it also depends on your friends. Because I think that a couple times I've been like a mediator, because sometimes you're angry, you don't express yourself the right way, or the other person's angry, they're not hearing what you're saying. So it's kind of like, okay, you're not listening to each other, kind of a thing. But I also think too that I've been lucky for the most part to where people kind of listen to me a bit, so they know, like, they'll listen to me if I say that they're wrong or they should have done something differently or whatever. And it's not judgment; it's just you made a bad move that time.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else been in a situation? I know that I personally have been in a situation, not necessarily between friends, I would say, but more so like I remember when I was doing a fashion blog, and there we had like I'm trying to remember. There was one person who wanted to create a group of fashion bloggers in Philly. It was like a whole thing. So we had like a group of fashion bloggers in Philly, and then that person, the leader of that group, did not like the leader of the other group, and they both wanted me in their respective groups. And I'm like, trying to play the fence, basically. Um, I ended up, once it came down to crunch time, one guy was like, "Hey, are you in or what?" And I was just like, "Well, I think I can kind of be in both," and that really wasn't the right thing for me, because that ended up messing with my relationship with that guy, and I don't mean relationship, I mean just like just a regular friendship or whatever.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it kind of messed that up, and then I ended up not really doing much of anything with either of them. And so I don't know, and that's kind of where I learned that it's important to be able to pick a side once it comes down to it. I think there are some instances where you kind of have to. So I don't really think that it's a childish thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. I really haven't been a part of a friend group since college. Most of my friendships, well, all of my friendships are just like one-on-one relationships. So when I get my friends together for like game nights and things like that, I'm always the person in common for everybody there. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily friends. So I don't really have that issue of two people disagreeing and me having to choose sides, because I don't really move in friend groups anymore.
Okay. Is there a reason for that? Like, I'm curious, is that, do you purposely choose not to have a friend group, or has it just kind of unfolded that way?
I'm just very selective. I'm very selective with the people that I keep around me. So, and I've learned that from being in college, that you'll have a friend group. You know, the first gay friend group I ever had was in college. And you may learn that, okay, you really mess with one or two of them, but the third, fourth, and fifth one, those are the ones you're not going to be friends with in the future. So that's kind of how it is. Yeah.
You're not big on friend groups.
Yeah, because I don't want to be forced to
Yeah.
be friends with people you don't want to be around. Yeah.
Marcus and Brandon, I know you both have friend groups that you're currently a part of, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how are the dynamics within each of your groups? Like, is there a lot of friction, or are you guys really normally all cool, or is there kind of a hierarchy, or what's the deal there? I don't want you guys to have no issues after this, but I am curious.
You disrupted the whole friend group.
Okay.
So Marcus, let's start with you. I'm curious.
Okay. I have several different friend groups. I have, like gay friend groups. I have, like my friends from college, frat brothers. So like I have several different like friend groups that I have within the groups. There, some people may not see eye to eye on, some kind of minor things, but for the most part, we're all cool with one another. Um, and when you sort of like mix and mingle, like say for instance for my party this week, like it is a bit of tension trying to make sure that people are going to gel together. But I think that maybe I'm lucky enough to where none of my friends are just so like really combative like that to the point where it will cause unnecessary friction. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So it sounds like your friend group is pretty even keel, or your all of your groups are pretty, very, very kind of like you. Not really, not very dramatic.
No, I try not to be, but no, but yeah, no, like we're all, my groups. I have different friend groups for different things. It's not so much as like, oh, this is my number one, this is number two. It's like, okay, if I want to do this, I'm going to these people. If I want to do that, I'm going to these people.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And Brandon, what about you?
I think kind of the same. I kind of bounce between like, this is my group of friends from work, my group of friends from college, my group of friends that I've met in this area or whatever else. So for the most part, it's pretty cool. I think also too, it's important though, like in the friend group, to have your own dynamic with each individual as well, because that kind of helps to solidify the individual friendship, but as well as it eases tension as well. I think the most problems I've had has probably been from my friend group from college, but I think it's because we've known each other for 10 years. So I think a lot of that is like growing and learning and like individually and as well as with each other. But we, for the most part, have always bounced back. We've left a few behind, but for the most part.
So, okay, so let me dig into that, because I want to know why people have to break out of the friend group. Like, because I think that's an interesting thing, because I've been in a situation where I was the one kicked out of the friend group, and I was in a situation where I guess more recently I was part of the friend group and some other people got kicked out. So I'm like, how does that change the dynamic of the group?
I think, for instance, for my college friend group, the friend or two that we, I guess, lost in the circle. They were causing like chaos and confusion, and I think they were going through some things where they didn't like communicate that properly, and so it kind of was causing mess between
Yeah.
everybody else. And then finally was like, wait, you're the common denominator, you know? And then I mean, I think though, to our credit, we tried to like extend olive branches and try to mend fences or whatever, but also it's like a lack of accountability. So you can't really move forward if somebody's like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. It was all of you guys. And it's like, was it really all of us? Like, but I also think too, though, at least I've witnessed on the flip side though, where sometimes people will oust a person because of jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes a friend group is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And
All right.
and then I feel like you have some instances where I guess going back to that idea of trying to grow or whatever. Because in my in my college friend group, we had one friend that just vanished off the face of the earth. We don't know what we did to this person, but they just sort of removed themselves from the group. We kind of just came to the conclusion that well, maybe they needed to step away from us for whatever reason, for on their journey, whatever have you.
So they
But
ghosted the group.
pretty much.
Oh man. But I think, thinking about these interactions with friends and thinking about some of the conflicts that we come into contact with, I think that kind of flows into our next topic, which is, basically when to fall back, or if it's
I'll
even,
segue.
yeah, I think it's, even it's important to even approach people with certain things. So let's share this one. I got this one ready. So the tweet says, falling back silently is greater than sign, wasting time addressing shit. So falling back silently. I can't say back today. I don't know what falling. I want to say black. That's falling
Black
back.
pride.
So yeah. So y'all know what I'm trying to say. But so sounds to me like, when you say you're falling back silently, it sounds like you just don't.
You childish, you can't communicate.
Well, okay, and that's yeah, exactly, and that's what I picked up. I'm like, I feel like when you have an issue, when you're in some kind of a conflict, you have to say something, but you can say it in an appropriate manner. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a big argument or anything. But I think it's important to address things. I don't think just letting it go or being. I don't know. Do you think that you're being walked over if you don't address anything? What do you think, Charles?
Yes, Brandon, read me. So, I see both sides. Now, I know the mature thing probably would to, rub their back, address the situation, tell them why, blah, blah, blah. But now that dating I'm taking this into dating.
Please.
Because dating has become a multiple thing, like multi-dating. It has sped up with the apps and technology. You really don't have much time now, or you don't have to coddle people as much anymore, is the way I feel. Mm-hmm. I can address something with you once or twice, but if you just keep wanting more and more of an explanation, I'm just going to stop responding at some point.
Okay.
Yes, that may be childish, but some people just don't get it. And sometimes we're just not compatible. And I don't want to argue about why we're not compatible. We're just.
Yeah. So you're basically saying like, if I bring it up once, I don't want to have to keep bringing it back up. So
right.
I mean, and okay, so I don't think that that's necessarily childish. I think the childish thing is to not say anything at all and just let it go, and then you risk it kind of building up to where you have a blow up later on, where you could have avoided a blow up by just saying what it was the first time.
Right, but that's not enough. That's not enough. You tell a guy one time you don't like this, or it's not going to work out for this reason. He's going to text you again tomorrow, and we're going to try to have the conversation from a different angle and see if maybe we can hang out one more. I'm not gonna keep doing this.
You said, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
I
Right.
said what I said. Yes.
Brandon, what are you thinking about this so far?
No, I kind of agree. I think if you've discussed something once or twice and then it's like no change or it's repetitive behavior, then it's like, okay, I don't need to keep, because you don't want to beat a dead horse. You don't want to, be a broken record. And I also think too, if it's in the context of dating and it's something that's still relatively new, like I'm not even gonna waste all this energy up front.
Period. Period.
Feelings aren't involved yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's cut it here. So that I get.
So Marcus, I want to ask you, like, at what point do you feel it's worthless addressing something? Like, we can take it into the dating thing, but I feel like, if you're in a deeper relationship with somebody, whether it's romantic or family or a good friend or something, at what point do you think it's just like, all right, I'm just not even going to say anything anymore, or I'm just going to remove myself from this situation?
I think that's kind of like it's a personal thing. Like how important is whatever it is that you bring up, to you. Because like I'm reminded of a Beyonce quote. Like it makes no sense for me to keep applying notes if they're not being applied. Like I'm not going to keep saying this and you're not paying attention. Like you're not taking the initiative or whatever. Do something. Like if I tell you, hey, this that you're doing, calling me before 9 a.m. is not going to work. After the fourth day of you calling me at 8 something in the morning, I'm blocking you because you're not listening. You're not paying attention to what it is I have said.
Not comprehending. Yes.
You're not. Like what's not clicking? And it's like, and it gets to that point where honestly, I would get to thinking like, if you're not going to listen to the simple stuff, what's going to happen when we get to the larger stuff? I'm going to stop before it gets to the larger stuff.
Hey, felt that.
I think for me, as far as this whole conversation is going, I feel like I'm not a fan of suffering silently.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of let stuff slide, especially if it's like a one-off or a minor annoyance. But it comes to a point where you kind of have to say something sometimes, and I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm not. I mean, and I don't. And people use the word confrontation. They mean it's like a battle, right? But I don't think of confrontation as necessarily a fight. I just think, you just confront the issue. You just talk about the actual elephant in the room. And I am one of those people who will always do that. And I find like a lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people like to make nice. And,
play nice, be the nice
like,
one.
No, let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's air it out. And if we have to fight, then we're gonna fight. But
okay, Jackie.
I'm not afraid of that either. But it's like, and I don't want to fight. But if it goes there, it goes there because
All right.
you can't
listen.
You can't
I
take
love it.
This is a shift.
Conversation.
Okay.
Is it a shift?
This is a new Jarrod. All right now.
But this Jarrod has always been here.
I'm
Y'all are
curious,
just learning.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was like, have you guys ever though not brought something up because of fear of how the other person will respond, or that they already don't listen or they play victim or anything like that? Like in those instances, do you just choose to not say anything?
I will always give that person a chance to act right. Even if I know that usually they don't.
Okay. Teach me that.
I mean, that's just right. Me. I won't always assume.
Nice.
I won't always assume of how they're going to be. I always want to be the adult, I guess, in any kind of conflict or anything like that. I always want to at least say something before. And it's so funny because I feel like usually when I bring something up, like I don't ever say anything. And I talk about this with my good friend all the time. It's like we don't ever talk about anything unless we know like 99, 100% we're in the right. So if I ever say anything that's like dogmatic, like, and I state it as a matter of fact, I'm not just talking off the top of my head. But that's just me. I don't know. I don't want to take up the whole conversation. You guys can go ahead though.
I mean, it really depends. Because I will say that there are some arguments that I just don't feel like having at that point in time. Like, like some of my, I'm not gonna argue about, some I must say about some small things that I may look at some of my straight friends that they say. Like, I'm not even gonna go into that argument because I don't have the energy, I don't have the bandwidth to try to do that. So some small things like I'll let go, but it really, again, it just really just depends. Like, it's just something that I'm really passionate about. Like, if you finna be out here blaring R. Kelly, then we finna have a conversation. But like, if it's small things like, you say that you prefer, I don't know, um, Nicki Minaj over whatever, what have you, then okay, that's fine. That's your wrong opinion.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
your
your
wrong
wrong
opinion.
opinion. All right.
Yeah, I think it becomes real touchy when it comes to family. I know somebody mentioned family earlier, but when you have family members that give like the hotep energy, they're just real stuck in their beliefs, and no matter what you say, it's going to be that way. I do think it's a waste of energy, as you were saying about just arguing about homophobia or race issues, and
Hmm.
girl, I just let them think what they want.
Sometimes it's better to just let it go and let it
Yeah, just let it go.
yeah. Now, I mean, this brought up the question for me. It's like, what are some of your pet peeves, and because I know there are some things that kind of set us off. So I'm curious, what are those things for you? What are those? I don't want to. Well, yeah. What are those things that set you off? So I want to go. Let's start with Brandon since he asked the last question. He can start this one.
Okay. Start now. Set me off like in having a conversation. Set me off when I wanna.
A conversation or getting heated or whatever.
I don't do yelling. I can't. That irks
Do
me.
you do
You can't
fingers in
cut
your
me off.
face?
I don't. I do not. No, we're gonna keep. Now I talk with my hands, but we're gonna keep them like at an even. If you bring them up, then what's up? Like
That is a
let's
sound of
go.
aggression.
That part that's real confrontational. I think my main thing is if we're having a heated conversation, if you're not like letting me talk, you're talking over me, and you're yelling, it's a wrap. It's a
Mm,
wrap.
okay. Okay. So you like people to talk to you calmly, even
I'd
if
like to use
you're
our inside voice if we're inside.
okay. Okay. See, now I feel like, excuse me, I feel like um, I would have trouble with that, trouble keeping my voice down if
I'll
I'm in a
remind you.
heated conversation. I hear that. I hear that. But yeah, I know that based on how I was raised in the way that my family is,
Hmm.
we will keep going up and up and up, and it's just like
See,
it just gets
see.
it gets to be a little too much. I mean, admittedly. So
Because like tone, I understand like I understand we're angry with each other, so tone is fine. It's the volume for me. I just can't
okay,
do
okay.
no.
Marcus, how about you?
I agree with that, yelling, screaming thing. Like, don't bring it down. Like, I don't need all that energy. And the thing that gets me is don't cut me off because like it's sometimes it takes me time to get my thoughts right. I stutter, kind of frequently. So you're cutting me off when I'm trying to formulate. Eventually, I'm gonna get to the point where, all right, since words are clearly not working, we're gonna have to try another route.
Hello?
So yeah.
All right, all right. So Charles, any pet peeves, anything that sets you off, anything that makes you immediately go from a 0 to a 10? Because you seem like a very even like you seem like you're very calm. I won't say
He said he's
zero,
a
but you
Libra
seem like
though, so it's in there.
um,
Now, how did I get here?
pet peeves when it comes to communication, uh, ignoring me. I think ignoring me is like the number one because, like you said, Jared, when I have an issue, I want to talk about it right now. Like while it's on my mind, I want to talk about it because I'm the type I'll think about it, and the more I think about it, the worse for you it will become. Because
okay.
then my mind will start adding stuff to the story, and I'll talk to my friend about it, and it'll be like, let me just talk about this before it goes further, you know?
Right. Okay.
Um, so just being ignored, and yeah, about it.
That's your number. I think for me, it would be condescension. don't talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. And like
Oh, that too.
just
Yeah,
don't.
that's a good one.
Because if you do that, or if you try to like, if you try to sun me, then it's a bet.
See?
Like we're fighting basically, and I don't mean like fist
Not
fighting,
fighting.
but
But we might. We might.
Listen.
Libra. I said, didn't I say it?
But we might.
but don't do that. Don't do that to me. That's my thing, and that's what gets me heated. And people who, who try to, I guess maybe they'll take my I guess kindness for weakness is kind of what I'm looking for, but it's more of just thinking that I'm really naive. Um, and then it's like, oh, don't get it twisted. I mean, I play nice, but don't get it twisted. So so that's that. But anyway, we can move on to our next topic, which would be celebrity redemption. And this was a topic brought up by Brandon, actually. And I think you said you were a little bit inspired by this whole thing going down with Tory Lanez and Meg Thee
Let me
Stallion,
clear that
right?
up. Don't get me in trouble. So no, it was just so what happened was everybody was, I guess he did a interview. I don't know what he did, but his album came out, whatever, and all this debate of like, don't listen to him, protect Black women, on and on and on, which I understand, I agree with. And I was just wondering in general, not pertaining to him, just though, what does it look like though for celebrity redemption? Like when we cancel someone, can they ever be uncanceled? Is there something that they can do that can like kind of right that wrong essentially? Or is it like, you know what I'm saying, it's like amount of time? Is it like they got to give to this organization? They got to now become an ally or a strong supporter of whatever group? Or is it just like, no, you did this one thing and you didn't listen in 2010, so fuck you for the rest of your career?
I think it depends on who the celebrity is and who are their fans, who's their main audience. I have two examples of people that were real, that should be canceled, but are not because their core audience agrees with their fuckery. Number one is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle used the F word, the faggot word, excuse me, a lot. He's very homophobic, but because his core audience thinks the same way, it's okay for Dave Chappelle. He gets $1 million Netflix contracts. And on the other hand, we have Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber has plenty of videos out with him using the N-word and saying a lot of really racist things with people laughing in the background. But because his core white audience doesn't care about that, he won't be canceled. So it just really depends on who your core are and whether or not they care about what you did.
Okay, so in both instances, and let me just play devil's advocate here.
They don't need no advocates, but go on.
But okay, so with Dave Chappelle, are we say like, because I don't know if I would say that his core audience believes in homophobia necessarily. I think some of them may go,
but they don't care.
That.
They don't care is the main point. They don't care enough because it's not them.
Yeah, but I would say, I think most of them think of it as it's just comedy, and maybe you shouldn't get so uptight about a comic act. What do you say to that kind of?
No, because if a white female comedian got on stage and started saying N-word jokes all day, she would be canceled completely.
Okay.
So I don't think just the joke thing really works.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you because I had listened. I think it was something that Chris Rock had said one point, and he said something about faggot or something. I was just like, okay.
They all love that word. They love that word.
Yeah. So I wasn't too fond of that either. But with Justin Bieber, now that's another thing, because he said all that back in the day before he was a celebrity, and he was much younger.
Well, he had a no, wait, now wasn't he 12 when he came out? No,
I was going to say he was younger when he came out.
Okay, well, he was much younger
Now, how old is he now? Now,
But
wait a
I'm
minute.
saying all this. When did all
What
this
is
come to light?
Brain?
I'm just saying. Well, when did all of this other stuff come to light?
What, Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
It Okay, so he was already famous. He had a couple singles out already, and he did a fake little remix on camera to one of his songs using the N word instead of the word he used in the real song.
Okay.
And the people in the background were laughing and laughing.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, people do use the age thing, but I don't buy it. Y'all don't do that for Jeffree Star, so you shouldn't do it for Justin Bieber.
Right. No, I hear you. I know that there was another. I think the girl from Fifth Harmony, Camilla
Oh yeah.
Cabello. Didn't she have
Cabello.
some old tweets and old stuff from before she was a star or something? And
Now I have that. Now I wonder about that too. Like, are we? Because sometimes I feel the way about like retroactively canceling someone. Like, if you tweeted something 8 years ago, I don't know if you, because I guess it depends on whether or not you can defend it or apologize or whatever, like present day. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like a lot of people say and do stupid things. I think especially to like, particularly with Twitter, like Twitter 10 years ago, nobody knew what it would be
right.
or like kind of the impact of whatever it would become. And that's not to excuse anybody's offensive behavior, but it's just like, do people not grow in 10 years? Do we not give them that space? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you think,
For
Marcus?
me, I'm gonna say for me, I feel like the thing is like, yes, you can make stupid comments when you were younger and you don't know about it. But I think the proof is that okay, you thought this when you were younger, but do you still think like this? Because I feel like we have the idea that okay, if you haven't done the, like if you have say for instance with over Camilla, whatever last name is,
Yeah.
like she was doing all that, saying all this like racist stuff or what have you. Nothing that you have done since then has shown that that's not how you still think. So the logic behind this is these are still your feelings. You're just smart enough not to say this openly anymore. And for me, kind of going back to the original question, if you want to be uncanceled or forgiven, however you want to frame it, you have to show that you actually no longer feel the way that you felt when you were canceled in the first place. If you come up here saying all this stuff about gay folks, about trans folks, you said all this stuff 10 years ago, then somewhere along the line between then and now, you need to have shown that okay, I thought this, but now I feel differently. This is how I've grown. This is how I've learned. Because if you ain't did that, I think you still feel the way that you did 10 years ago.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, there needs to be some serious action in order for them to kind of move past that. And I agree with you. I feel like, something comes up, you have to make some serious action to kind of walk that back if you offended people. And I think I don't know if this is a good example, but somebody who could have been canceled but have been Jason Momoa, because I know he said something at one point, some kind of weird. I think it was during like a Comic-Con or something. He said something about he made like a almost like a rape joke or something like that. And so he had apologized, but then it came up once he got into the Aquaman role and his star was a little bit bigger. It came back up again, and he made the apology again. And it's just like, if it comes up, uh, you have to stay there. You can't be defensive about it. I feel. I don't know if that's necessarily the best example, but yeah. So
Well, yeah, we saw Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart made a whole documentary on Netflix gaslighting the world to try to forgive him for his homophobic tweets over the years. Because it wasn't just a one-time instance with Kevin Hart. And you learn from the documentary, his team around him makes it to where he can do bad things, cheat on his wife, and they're going to look out for him and do these things. They should forgive me because I'm Kevin Hart. Like, why are you still mad? Type thing.
And bringing that up, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
I must say, and bringing that up, that's part of the reason why I don't put a whole lot of stock. And when people just say, "Oh, I'm sorry," you can make them out say anything. Like you can say, "I'm sorry" to you trying to go in the face. Like, show me some action to let me know that you actually, should be forgiven.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I see a couple comments here. I see on YouTube we have connected saying depends on what you've done to be canceled. And Kiss My Cheeks TV, hey, how you doing?
Kiss my cheeks. Come
What's
on,
up,
man.
What's up, Angie?
There, but she's in the building, so hello. So I'm gonna move on to our last topic. So I'm not gonna. Well, no, I have the tweet, but I'm not gonna bring it up on the screen because it's just way too much trouble to do that. So let me just read it. So the tweet says, "Your mom disrespects your man, and they argue. Who you defending?" So Charles, let's start with you. Who are you defending? Your mom or your man?
It depends on. Well, let me take myself out of the situation. If it depends on who your mom is, and it depends on what they're arguing about. First and foremost, I don't think your man should argue with your mother. They should let you know and let you handle the situation because I think it's your job to correct your mother if she is the one in the wrong, and you and your man get out to go home, do something with your life. But like I said, it depends on who your mom is. Some people have liberal moms, some people have crackhead moms, some people have church moms. So not all moms are created equal. They're not all created equal. So we can't just say all moms are correct in those situations, But yeah.
True. Marcus, how are you feeling about who are you defending?
So I'm not going to make this personal because I don't know if I'm
right.
Don't worry, we're going to make it personal soon. But...
okay then.
I'm gonna make sure that I have something else to. Yeah. Anyway, I think it really does depend on you. Like, I really hone in on that. You have to know who your mom is, because I think we have this idea that oh, your mom is infallible. She's doing most everything, and she has to be the person that's right in all times. And we gotta be honest, some of our mamas ain't like that. Probably a lot of them ain't like that. Like, some people mamas really do be trying it. And you have to recognize, what type of mother that you have to know whether or not you need to, to nail yourself to that cross to try to defend her, or you need to defend your mate.
All right, Brandon, any thoughts?
I'll go just solely on the tweet because it said if your mom disrespects your man, then I'll defend my man. Because we didn't say he did something first. We didn't say he, you know what I'm saying, started with her. If she just come out of a bag, then I got to defend my man,
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of the same way. If we just go based on the tweet, if my mom is the one disrespecting my man, then I have to defend my man. But I don't think that would ever be an issue. I don't think that would ever, because my mom isn't that way. But do you guys ever have you ever been in a situation like that where you kind of had to jump in the middle of your mom or your dad and your significant other? No, Charles.
No, but I mean, my parents have never met anybody either, so there's that. So
okay, Charles.
No, because my mom has only met one partner I had in the past, and my mom also, she might be watching, love you, but she's willing to play fake nice. So my mom won't disrespect you in front of you, but she'll probably do it when you ain't around.
That part.
So yeah.
No, my mom has told me and my brother that. She's like, I can be nice to anybody for an hour.
That's funny. So what if it was the other way around? If your man disrespected your mom?
Oh no. We don't do that. We don't do that. No.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah.
No hesitation. I love it.
Yeah.
Like,
no disrespect to my mom. We're not doing that. But are you gonna gather him in front of your mom, like, or is it gonna be like a side thing? Like, okay, we're gonna go home, and then I'm gonna yell at you in the car on the way home, or like, how does that look?
I think it depends on what he says. Like, what is the disrespect level will depend on whatnot. And the same thing with the mom. I think it's like, I'll be like, okay, y'all stop. And then depending on what was said is whether I'll say something in that moment further.
Connected is saying the question is very family or fiance, if y'all have ever seen that. I've seen
yes, it is.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a tough situation sometimes. I've never been in that situation because I
No, me
I
either.
think my mom has only met like one guy that I've been with. None of them have ever been worth bringing to my mom.
Hello?
So once
Hello?
somebody gets to that point, we'll see where we are. But I don't think I'd ever be in that kind of a situation. But we are running out of time. So Charles, I want to ask you. Can you
What's
please let
going
the
on?
audience please let the audience know where to find you and your work, please?
Yes. So you can find me on Twitter at Charles Warren _ or on YouTube, Charles Warren, Instagram, the Charles Warren. Somebody already took my name, so I had to put the in front of it. I currently do Big Brother like live chats. So if you watch Big Brother, you can jump on in, waiting on Survivor and some of those other competition shows, Drag Race to come back. But yeah, that's about it.
Yep. And I was actually on your show a few weeks back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun to talk, because I never get to talk the strategy of the game with like anybody aside from maybe my dad, who may watch once in a while. So it was good. It's a fun time. So definitely subscribe to him on YouTube and all of his social media platforms. So everybody, if you enjoyed our conversation and you want to see more, it's absolutely necessary that you let us know. Whether that's a bunch of hearts on the live stream, a like and subscribe on YouTube, or a comment and a share, please show us some love. So everybody, I think it's time for us to put our glasses up.
Glass
I
on
got a
today.
long
little bit.
glass. A long glass.
Full disclosure, this is a refill.
How do you
I
do
did
it?
it.
I don't even always
So
miss it.
smooth with
It's
it.
magic. It's just magic. I don't
Because
know
it
what to
was
say.
full. So the fact that it was full and you done refilled since.
Listen.
It's a fun day. What can I say? So until next time, be careful what you say, because the boys will brunch. Take care.